Quiet, everyone! The master needs us! Tonight, we are tailors!
Every mouse had a job. Every mouse had a purpose. Each stitch was so small, it looked like it was as if a garden was blooming in the middle of winter. His cries and claws meant nothing to the mice in their revelry. They weren't afraid of the cat anymore. They had a mission. He was ready for a fight. But once upon a time, in the narrow cobblestone streets of Gloucester, there lived a humble tailor. The winter wind was cold, but inside the tailor's shop, a tiny flame of hope still flickered. The tailor was old and tired, but his hands never stopped working. Simpkin, the cat, was his only companion, and a very bossy one at that. He had only a handful of silver coins left to his name.
Eat well, little friend. It's a bitter night.
Simpkin didn't like sharing, especially with the mice.
Whoa, whoa, settle down! It's not worth it, you crazy feline.
The mayor requires the finest mantle for his wedding on Christmas morning.
It was the most beautiful silk the tailor had ever seen.
It is like a sunset captured in fabric. Embroider roses and lilies on it. Don't fail, or you'll lose the gold.
The challenge was great, but the reward was a miracle the tailor desperately needed. The next morning, the tailor went out to buy the finest threads and ribbons. Snip, snip, snip. The work began with hope and precision. He worked through the day, ignoring the ache in his back. Every stitch was a prayer for a better life. Simpkin watched, his tail twitching with impatience for his dinner. But then, the tailor's heart skipped a beat.
No, I have run out of cherry-colored twist. Just one buttonhole left.
He had spent everything, only his very last coin remained.
Simpkin, my dear cat, take this last coin, buy a pennorth of red silk thread.
And get a bit of bread for yourself. Please, hurry back.
Simpkin set off into the freezing cold, his heart full of grumbles. The tailor waited. The shop felt colder than ever before. The moon rose, casting long shadows of doubt across the room. Simpkin set off, thinking only of how important he was. But Simpkin's focus was as thin as a thread. His hunting instinct roared louder than his duty. Higher and higher he climbed, chasing shadows in the moonlight. The mouse was gone, but the thrill of the hunt remained. He had forgotten the shop, the silk and the cherry-colored twist. When the cold bit his paws, he finally remembered home.
Oh, Simpkin, where is the thread? The time is running out.
The tailor gave him another chance, his hands shaking from the chill. Attempt number 2. But the city was full of temptations. A scent so heavenly, it made Simpkin's stomach growl. His cousins were having a ball, and they invited him to join. The thread could wait, he thought, just one little bite. But time waits for no cat. The market was closing its doors.
Simpkin, please.
Only one coin left, our very last hope.
He finally bought the thread, but his heart was full of spite. He feels like the tailor loves those mice more than him.
One day, Thread, I will destroy you and everything you stand for.
He returned to a house of sickness, but he did not feel pity. He decided to teach the tailor and the mice a lesson. No thread, no coat, no coat, no gold for bread. He closed his eyes, ignoring the tailor's shivering breath.
Simpkin. At the twist. Christmas is coming.
But the mice had seen everything. They knew where the thread was hidden.
We must help him. He is the only one who cares for us.
The fever was getting worse. The old man was drifting away. Outside, the world was frozen. Inside, hope was dying. A secret army was forming in the shadows of the floorboards. Simpkin growled softly, then fell back into a grumpy sleep. The silk felt like a vast red ocean to their tiny paws. They admired the tailor's skill. They wanted to be just like him.
Quiet, everyone! The master needs us! Tonight, we are tailors!
Simpkin looked at his master, and for a second, his tail stopped twitching. The night of miracles was about to begin, but first, they had to deal with the cat. The plan to lure Simpkin was in motion. Instinct was stronger than sleep. Simpkin stood up. To Simpkin, the mice were a band of thieves he couldn't simply ignore. He was deep inside the mice's territory now. Click. The trap was sprung. The cat was gone. The shop belonged to the mice.
No more twist. Cherry red. No more.
The stage was set for the most incredible night Gloucester had ever seen. Every mouse had a job. Every mouse had a purpose. They gathered the tools with the precision of master craftsmen. It was heavy work for such small bodies, but they didn't complain. Success, the needle was threaded. They used their whole weight to push the steel through the fabric. Heave, ho, heave, ho. Their rhythm was perfect. Their tiny paws moved faster than any human hand could ever follow. Each stitch was so small, it looked like it was made by magic.
Tighten that rosebud. More gold on the collar. Quick, before dawn.
They worked with a light that came from their own brave hearts. The mantle was transforming into a masterpiece of gratitude. They used every trick they knew to make the silk shine. It was as if a garden was blooming in the middle of winter. Every detail mattered. Every mouse gave its best. His cries and claws meant nothing to the mice in their revelry. They weren't afraid of the cat anymore. They had a mission. Punch, punch. The work was nearly done. The final touches were being added with love and care. But as they reached the very last buttonhole, they stopped. They needed the cherry-colored twist that Simpkin had hidden. They searched everywhere, but the cat had hidden it too well. The sun was coming, and the work was incomplete. He had to leave a message for the master. It was a sad, tiny cry for help. They vanished as quickly as they had appeared, leaving a miracle behind. He was ready for a fight, but what he saw stopped him cold. His heart, once so cold, began to melt like the snow on the roof. He realized that his spite had almost cost the master his life. The secret was out. The cherry-colored twist was found. It was his way of saying sorry to his master. The sunlight touched his face like a warm hand. He expected to see a ruined piece of cloth and a lost future.
My stars. Is this a dream? Who did this? No more twist? But the thread is right here. Oh, Simpkin, you brought it. You saved me.
He began to sew the very last buttonhole with a heart full of joy. Christmas morning had arrived and the miracle was complete. 1,000 tiny stitches sewn by silver paws.
Tell the mayor. The tiniest tailors in Gloucester sent him their best.
The whole city gathered to see the mayor in his legendary wedding coat.
You have saved my wedding day, Master Tailor. This gold is yours.
The hunger was gone. The fear of the cold was a distant memory.
You deserve a feast too, my brave Simpkin.
And for my secret friends, a little thank you for the big miracle.
The mice knew they were no longer just pests, they were partners. Peace had finally come to the little tailor shop in Gloucester. People say that since that day, the tailor's work became the most famous in all the land. But the secret of the tiny stitches remained hidden beneath the floorboards.